Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Boss Talks. I'm Kristine Drummond, and I've got the amazing Joel Lord with me today. And hopefully you're getting a lot of value out of these podcasts, because our role is to serve you. And if you are finding value, the only fee that we charge is that you share this information on with people. We want you to pass it on. And if you do find value, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it on your social media. That's all we ask, because we want to have a global impact and just really challenge the way that people think about their everyday life. And today is no different. So our inspiration for this podcast today came from me just Googling what are the most common questions that people ask on Google. And this was number 24 on the list, Joel. And I think it's an important one. And it's, how do you make money? So what kind of stats are we looking at out there? I know you got a couple up your sleeve. What are we talking about when we're talking about money? How much money is out there?
Well, there's lots and lots. So I like to put it into perspective like this. If you backed a truck up to the ocean in the middle of the night and you had a tanker on the back and you stole like 1 million or 10 million litres of water out of the ocean, the sea level wouldn't drop. No one would know that you've taken the water. And to be honest, the whole economy is like that. There's that much money out there. So really, you just got to step it up and go out and get yours. And like, to put it into some other perspective, in the US, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, I saw a statistic today that it uses 9 tons of ink a day to print 26 million currency notes. Wow. Now, when you multiply that by $100 bills and $50 bills and whatever that turns out to be, like, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So if they're just throwing that out into the economy, and we can get into the whole, that's another topic, the economy. It's huge. Like, the machine's massive. And realistically, you've just got to walk up to the table, find a way to get yours, and go with it. So, yeah.
Well, today we're going to be talking about ways that you can make money. We're going to give you guys some ideas. How handy would that be, of ways that you can make money? Because let's face it, it's such a taboo subject here in Australia, isn't it? Like, people get really uncomfortable about talking about money, but to be honest, guys, it's just energy. It's just an exchange, so you don't have to get uncomfortable about it. But you know what? Like, money's up there with oxygen. It gives you choices. It gives you more experiences in life. It gives you a better quality of life. And we're not saying that money makes you happy, although it is a nice way to live when you don't have to worry about it again, and you can reduce a lot of that stress and strain. So today's podcast is all about just giving you some ideas and some tips around how to make more money that maybe you haven't thought about yet, because Joel and I, we come across people on a daily basis who are on struggle street. We've both been there ourselves, and it's not fun. It adds to stress, which then affects your health, which then starts to show up as dis-ease in the body. And we don't want that. We want all our listeners to be able to be inspired to live their best life and to earn what they deserve. But here's the catch. A lot of people say they want more money, but they're not prepared to do what it takes. And we see that on a daily basis. A lot of people do a lot of talking, but their feet don't match what's coming out of their mouth. So hopefully today, if you're listening to this, you start to think differently. You draw a line in the sand. You go, you know what? Today's the day. Yeah, I'm going to do something. I'm going to change my financial future, and I'm going to look for alternate ways to create that extra money. Because let's face it, if you're stuck in the 9-to-5 grind, if you're going to work for someone else, if you're stuck in that employee mentality, you will not get ahead in life. It's impossible. However, if you have multiple streams of income, and this is what we've been taught, and we've done a lot of research around this as well, if you have multiple streams of income coming in, you can set yourself up for life. So you don't have to rely on the government. So you don't have to rely on inheritance. You don't have to rely on handouts from anyone else. Your retirement will be absolutely set up, and you'll live a comfortable life in retirement. So that's our wish. That's our goal for you guys, and also ourselves. And we're going to talk a little bit about, ways to make money now. Is that what we're moving into now? Or some of the risks around it as well. And you do have to take risks when it comes to money. So Joel, can you talk a little bit around that?
Yeah, well, first of all, like, the risk is not getting out there. Is to not get out there and to try to make a difference in your life and to go and make more money. So the biggest risk you take is not taking risks. So like, just think, it's not the opportunity that costs you the money. It's the money that you don't make by taking the opportunity. So like, most people don't know how to make money. They don't even know how to make it. The second thing you need to be able to do is to be able to keep it, and they don't know how to do that. And then the next part is like, you need to be able to multiply it. You know, so Warren Buffett says that if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. And I don't want to work till I'm 120 because I intend to be here until I'm 120. It's what I say on the podcast. It's what I'm doing. So like, you need to be, I believe the first way to make money is to make sure that you're good at sales. You have to get good at sales. And are you born a salesman? You know, you hear a lot of crap out there that you're either born a salesman or you're not. I certainly was not born a salesman, and I consider myself to be quite good at sales. And it's really just influencing people to make better decisions that are good for them, because you're being influenced on a daily basis by the media, by all, we've been through all this before, and you just got to help wake people up. You got to help steer them. If you believe in your product, you have a moral obligation to sell it to people. If you know that your product is going to help them with their health, or it's going to help them with their wealth, or whatever, like, we need to sell this podcast, because honestly, today, this podcast is going to be worth like hundreds and thousands of dollars to people. It's going to save you a lot of money going to bullshit coaches and wealth seminars. You can just hear it here. It's going to devalue all those seminars. We're going to share the best of the best here. So, yeah.
Can I just touch on that? Because I love what you just raised there. Sales is influencing, and I don't think people realize that. And if you're in business, you're not, let's say that you're a car salesman, for instance. You're not in the business of selling cars. You're in the problem solving business. And most of us as business owners are there to solve a problem for our consumer, for our client. But here's the thing, you don't have to have a business. Like, we are all in sales. If you're a parent, you're selling all the time to your kids. You're selling your opinions, your beliefs, your values. If you have a partner, you are constantly trying to sell to them. You know, especially when you first meet them, you're selling yourself.
It's a big sale.
It is a big sale. But you've got to start looking differently at sales. Sales is not just the exchange of money and buying off someone. It is all about influence. And the better that you become at being able to influence people, and that's the thing, you've got to believe in what you are selling. Like, we're selling you this podcast today. Like, even though it's free, we're actually selling you this. We want you to listen to this podcast over every other podcast that is out there, because we feel like we are down to earth, genuine, relatable people that have incredible knowledge and insight into some of these topics that we bring up with you. And we feel like we are going to be able to give you a better quality of life if you implement some of the stuff that we teach you on these podcasts, that we sort of empower you, to have that better quality of life. And we've poured hundreds of thousands of dollars between us into self-development and all that kind of stuff. So we're bringing you all the things that we've learned over the years from the biggest thought leaders in the world. And it's not going to cost you a cent to be able to take that on board, because we're giving it to you for free in these podcasts. So I just wanted to let people know that that's what sales is all about. It really is about influencing people.
100%. So, like, what are some of the ways that people can go make money? And like, I want to touch quickly on what I believe you need to be first. You need to become obsessed. And this is going to shock a lot of people. You need to be obsessed with making money, having multiple flows of income. You don't want to just rely on one thing, because that, like, one thing could disappear. But if you've got multiple flows of income, like money coming in from investments, money coming in from a side hustle, money coming in from your job, money, whatever it happens to, whatever pieces of the puzzle you got, you need to be obsessed with increasing that, making it come in bigger flows and bigger amounts, so you can help more people. You can help your family. That could be your family. That could be your friends. That could be, Kristine, you're able, through applying what you've learned, you've created a lifestyle and a business for yourself that you can just up and and go down and serve your family that needs you now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and most people can't do that.
No.
The average person out there is stuck. They would love to be able to help people, but they can't, and you can.
Yeah.
And it's I'm not going to say emotionally water off a duck's back, but like financially, it's not a problem. You know,
Yeah.
when you've had car issues like we all have, it doesn't kill us.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
because we've been obsessed with creating a life, and that comes with income, and that comes with money, and you know, you got to make more of it. So starting a business, what businesses or what forms of income producing activities do you want to talk about today? Like, what do you want to bring up?
Well, I Googled it. I Googled because I was interested to see what people were recommending. And I went to this one guy's website, and he lists 40 easy ways to make money. And you know what the first one was that he listed? It was betting. So he actually is saying, you know, which is fairly high risk, but he's saying join the no risk betting sites and bet on those. So there you go. There's betting. That's one way. And I'm not saying I'm closed-minded or open-minded or I support any of this. This is just what's out there. So you've got your affiliate marketing, which you touched on before. You've got your network marketing, massive fan of network marketing. And I'll explain why in a second. You've got, you can become a coach. You can become an educator or an online inspirer. You can write a book. You can, you know, be a researcher. You can be one of those mystery shoppers. There's so many ways. You can be a copywriter. You can be a virtual assistant. You could start your own business. Like, think about the things out there that people don't enjoy doing. Like, you could start a cleaning business. You know, you could start any type of business like that where there's a real need in the market, a bookkeeping business. You know, these little things that people take up a lot of people's time, but they don't necessarily like doing those jobs. So, you know, there's a million ways, Joel, to earn money. And you know what? The thing is that if the world's wealth was divided amongst all of us, we would all have $10 million each. And we've talked about this in one of our other podcasts. But the most important thing was exactly what Joel said before. You can make as much money as you want, but if you don't have the skills to be able to keep it and then multiply it, you're going to dwindle it down to a level that, you know, where your self-worth is. And for me, I was stuck in the system for so long. I didn't realize that there was other ways to earn money. I just went to school, went to university, went and got a good job, went in the corporate world, and I had my blinkers on. I thought that was the way to get ahead. I was going to go all the way into the executive team, and I thought that was the way that I was going to, you know, achieve whatever it was I wanted to in life. But didn't quite work out that way. And it was because I was open enough to take a look at some other things that now we've been able to create, you know, this amazing lifestyle on the back of that. And yeah, you've been able to do the same, Joel. So that's just a few ways that I've sort of come across of how to make money. But what have you come across?
Oh, look, there's like with the advent of the internet and social media and like digital marketing, there's just so many online versions. Like, and I'm not claiming that I've made money in all of them or that many of them. Like, as you said, like where we believe in the network marketing industry, we're both in it. And I totally disregarded it for so long because I was too cool. And I had traditional businesses, which I still am interested in, all kinds of business. But, you know, through my education, you'd hear Robert Kiyosaki, you'd see, you know, people like Les Brown, like all those influencers out there, you know, they've got some form of network marketing and in their life, and they've got some form of, like, they've either got a history in it or they're still in it. And it just really goes to show that that works. And if you don't give up and you become obsessed with it, there's so many different ways to make money. Like, there's always the industry that wouldn't exist if there wasn't money being made. And it's certainly, it's not a fly by night. So you could go out and do that. Like, there's Amazon, there's Fulfilled by Amazon. I know friends of mine that are making a ton of that. They've found a way to automate it. Now, I have my opinions about automating. Totally. I think it's the in thing. I think it's all buzz. I think what it does is ruins the customer experience. That's just for me. I would still like to have contact with the customer. Some people just like to see numbers coming in. I think that, you know, like recently Facebook and Instagram went down because I have relationships with my customers. I don't need to worry about that too much because they're still going to be my customers. I think a lot of other people's hearts skipped a beat. So when they saw that could just get taken away, well, like, hey, like there's lots of things. Like there was like no one thought the housing market was going to crash in 2008 and 2009, and it went away in 4 days. You know, so I got a bit off topic there, but you know, like have a read of books like The Richest Man in Babylon. You want to get started, you know, you can see that he says like if you make 10 jewels or 10 pieces of gold, spend 9 and keep 1. And then your basket's got 1 in it. But the next time you get paid 10 pieces, you're going to have 11, and then you leave 1 in, and then you got 12, and it just adds up like that. And then that's one way to send that extra surplus money out there into investments, you know. And when I talk about investments, like you're going to hear so many different people say different things, but what comes to mind is something I learned reading the Cash Flow Quadrant, and a lot of the stuff that Robert Kiyosaki says is, like, do you like that investment? Like, I'm not interested in paper trading. I'm not interested in technical analysis. There's people out there that love it. Well, they should go do that because they can make money in there. Because I don't give a crap about it currently, I would lose money there because I'm not interested. But I love property. I love the network marketing industry. I love coaching. I love traditional business. I love helping people make more profit. I love that stuff. So for me, that's where I should pay my attention because I love it. So, and you love network marketing too. You've got a story, like tell us your story.
Well, you know, it came across my desk 7 years ago, and, you know, well, growing up from a young age, I always knew that I was put on this planet to do something spectacular with my life, but I could never find out what it was. Nothing really lit me up. And after dabbling in, you know, hospitality, and I had my own catering business at one stage, and you know, went into the corporate world, and I've worn many hats, and the personal trainer kind of gave me a taste of, you know, making an impact in people's lives, changing their life, making a difference, helping people with the quality of their life. So that kind of got me, you know, the foot in the health and fitness industry, I guess. And then when the products of the company that we work for came across my desk, it just made so much sense, you know, and it was at a time where I was flat broke. I had always been an independent woman my whole life. I didn't need anyone to take care of me. I was financially set up. I wasn't living week to week, but I had enough, you know, I had enough money there to live comfortably. And then when I became a mum, I had no money coming in, and I had a PT business that was failing. You know, it wasn't making any money. So when network marketing came across my desk, I just thought, you know what, it's no risk. Like, I've got nothing to lose. And within my first 2 days, I was in a positive cash flow position. And I was like, oh my goodness. And when I got my first check, I think I got 20 customers in my first 2 weeks, and my first check was amazing. I was just like, wow, if I can do this. But you know what it really was for me? It was asking my partner, being so broke that I had to ask Tom for money to buy his birthday present. And when I had to do that, I felt like such a loser. I was like, what? You've worked your whole life off, like my butt off, since I was 12 when I got my first job. And here I am at 30 years of age. I've got not 1 cent, you know, to my name. And I'm having to ask my husband for money to buy his birthday present. And I thought, what the F? So I did something about it. You know, I got hungry. I got obsessed, as Joel said, and I decided to take control, because here's the thing. I don't want to have to rely on anyone. I don't want to have to rely on Tom. I don't want to rely on Centrelink. I don't want to rely on the government when I'm retired. I don't want to rely on inheritance. I want to know that I paved my own path in this life. And I haven't always been great with finances, but you know what? I'm getting better every single day. I'm educating myself, and I'm passing that education onto my kids so that I break the lineage. I'm not passing that poor man mentality down through generation to generation. I want my kids to be able to be savvy with money, know what to do with it, know how to keep it, know how to multiply it. And my daughter, who's just turned 7, you know, she's got financial buckets already set up. You know, she gets rewarded, not for things like chores all the time, but for things that are going to help her expand and grow as a person. So she gets rewarded for reading her brother books. She gets rewarded for reading herself books, you know, those kind of things. And I love that I can pass those lessons on. So for me now, moving forward with creating money, it's not just about me anymore. You know, I've got a legacy to leave my family, and I want my grandkids, my great grandkids to be coming through, not having to rely on anything. And I think that's what drives me now more than anything.
Yeah, that's epic. I love what you said there, like about the retirement, not relying on anyone. So if you, like, the whole way the system is created is for you to retire poor.
Yes.
That's how you save tax on your super. That's how you do all this stuff. Like, I don't want to get too controversial. Well, actually, I don't care. But
yes, you do. You love it.
I don't actually care, but I don't want to give advice away to people that because everyone's in a different situation. My belief strongly is that the only way the system's going to work for you is if you intend to retire poor. So you need to take action now and create wealth. And I'm not saying it's easy. Like, I've had plenty of failures in my life. I had a multi-million-dollar business, and through like a series of events that I'll take responsibility for, I was there. I ended up working at a tip, and I had to turn it around. And like, I had to just ask myself, is that how the story's going to end? And what happens is, and what you said, like, you've had multiple businesses that have done okay or failed or been just above the breadline, and that's how you learn. That's like the entrepreneur makes just enough money to pay for their education and eat. So the best way to be in business is to get in business. You would not have found your current business success had you not been in that other business that didn't do so well, and had you not gone and done all these other things. So be grateful for all the other things. Be grateful for the stuff that you might be struggling in now, because I'm looking at multiple opportunities now, and like, I was not going to do it. I was like, I'm not sure about this. I don't feel like going into that industry again. But what my coach said to me was like, how do you know that by going down through the work that you don't meet someone that's the door opener? How do you know that this isn't your next business that you want to do? How do you know until you go through the motions of learning? Like, you're going to at least learn. So get off your butt and go and learn it. And doesn't mean you have to do it, but take a look. He actually said like something crazy, like, you could be walking along and a piece of like chewing gum wrapper might be on the sidewalk, and you might pick it up, and that might give you the flash of an idea that could be the next billion-dollar idea. I don't know. You just never know in the realm of infinite possibilities. So, I love that. So get into business. Go do something. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have some like certificate. Look at the like Gary Vee. Look at Grant Cardone. They all admit they were dummies at school. They don't have these massive degrees, and if they do, they're probably not using them. Like, I know I've got friends that have got engineering degrees that are in sales, because they make more money as salesmen than they do, and they're in management, they're in those positions. So I want to go through some, I want to change gears a bit. I want to go through some quick, do's and don'ts, some quick power tips that we can give the listeners on what to do and what not to do in business, like when they're starting a business. So, like, do you have any of those?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it doesn't matter what business you're in, it's a relationship business. And it's all about building relationships, not just with your clients, but with anyone you come in contact with. It's the way that you hold yourself. It's the way that you show up as a human being on this planet. So, like, how are you showing up on a daily basis? Are you the person that people dread picking the phone up because you're always so negative and you're judgmental and you're backstabbing and all that kind of thing? Or are you the person that people want to be around because you're a go-getter, because you're positive, because you show up to the world as your happiest, most positive, healthiest self? You know what I mean? So this is all about connecting with people, and people don't care how much you know until you show them how much you care. So I love, I see myself as a professional friend collector. I love people, and I love hearing people's stories. And if I know that I might know someone that could help that person, I love to just connect them with other people. And I think that's one of the biggest tips I can give you if you are going into business, or if you are looking to go into business, is just love on people, just really care about people. And that's half the battle, I think, a lot of the time. So that's probably my biggest tip.
Yeah. So like I want to smash through some that I've got prepared. Like this is the thing that I like, because in my business coaching that I do for people, this is some of the mistakes and the tips that I give them to help them avoid mistakes. So like first of all, raise your standards.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean you're like, this is where I think people get it wrong. They think, oh, raise my standards. Oh, my standards need to be a private jet and all that sort of stuff. And that's great. That's not the standard we're talking. It's your minimum standard. You'll always find a way to get to your minimum standard. So raise your standards. And that doesn't mean like wait to be perfect. So don't wait to be perfect. But raise your standards for what you tolerate, because you'll get what you tolerate. So stop tolerating just making ends meet. Suck it up and just get out and do it. So next one is like do high paying activities. And that isn't fixing your Facebook banner to make it look pretty. That isn't going and getting expensive branding shots. That can all be later. You don't need to spend a heap of money on that sort of stuff. So jump in anytime and elaborate on any of these.
I love it.
Like I love personal development, but the thing you need to do is apply personal development. Now I'm guilty of like going down the rabbit hole with personal development, and yes, it's valuable, but it only paid dividends when I actually applied it. And, so don't mistake personal development for action, because it's not action. It's just personal development. It's learning, and it's got its place. And we're in the industry. We're in it right now. This podcast is part of it. But if you guys don't apply it, and if we weren't applying this stuff, well, we wouldn't have the money that we've got. And if we don't continue to apply it, we're not going to grow. And if you're not growing, you're dying. So take risks. But honestly, do your homework. That doesn't mean just go and sink a ton of money into a new franchise when you don't know the industry or anything like that. Yeah, you got to take risks. You got to back yourself. But you've obviously got to use your brains and do your homework, because you're responsible. And the riskiest thing you can do is believe this crap that's out there at the moment. That's like burn the boats, quit your job, go all in. This is how you all make it to the top. You just go and start your business and you back yourself. Well, that's not correct. I don't believe it's correct. I think that you need to have a strong income and don't swap to your new thing until you've got a second solid one that's at least up with what you're earning now.
Yep.
So if you're earning $80,000 a year, don't drop that to start your side hustle and then go make $100 a week if you're lucky, and then that's before expenses. Like it's like it's dodgy unless you got the means to do it. Don't do it. Like be smart. So don't pay stupid amounts to start your business up. Like you don't need to do that. You can start a business with with the customers. Like, so we know that there's a low cost of entry in network marketing. We know there's a low cost of entry for a lot of digital stuff, right? So, but even for coaching, even for consulting, even for anything you want to do, you just need to be able to know that you can provide the service and go out, reach out to people and show them how you can help them. Show them how they'll benefit from using it. They'll pay you, like get the sale, and then make sure that you back yourself and you do the damn work and you give them the service. You've got to honor that. That's how you back yourself.
Yep.
So got any to add?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got pages.
Absolutely. Like I think speed of implementation is really important as well. And you touched on that with the self-development. There is a lot of noise out there in the personal development world, and there's a lot of great speakers, but it's impossible to implement absolutely everything that you hear. So I have this rule that I take 1 to 2, maybe 3 things from each self-development thing and I implement them straight away. I don't wait. It's like that speed of implementation that could just give you that 1 degree of success that over time, gives you so much growth in whatever it is that you're doing. So I think that's really key. And there was something else I was going to say and it's just gone from my head. That's
all right. It'll be back. Well, it's funny that you say that, because I like on my coaching calls, I've actually, I help business owners, and we get an idea, and I say, they're like, that's a great idea. And I'm like, great, well, get your phone out and implement it now. They're like, what, now? And I'm like, yes, now. And it's so ironic because that happened to me yesterday. Like when we were at lunch with an amazing coach and leader was speaking to me, I was able to get some of their time. and it was very valuable because it worked. Like if I'd have not taken action right there and then, well, maybe I wouldn't have even taken that action yet. But I'm already in positive cash flow because of that. I already know that I've got positive results from it. I've got appointments set, and it was just a little tweak of how I was thinking about things that actually upped my game. So getting around those people that have trodden the path before you, and please don't go learn how to do something from someone who's unsuccessful in that area. Don't go learn money off someone who's made money the way you want to make money. If they're overweight, don't take tips about health from them. They might be great at making money, so you can listen to them there, but don't listen to their advice about you could listen to Kristine or someone about health because she's healthy. She's active. You could listen to her about being a great mum, Would you listen to either of us about running a $1 billion company? Well, probably not.
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe next year. It's going to happen, but that's
I love
what you want
that.
to do.
I love that. And you often hear that saying as well, that if you find something that you're passionate about, you'll never work a day of in your life. And I kind of half believe it, because there is always hard work associated with anything. But in what I've been able to create, I suppose, with my network marketing business in particular, is everything aligns with my values with this company. Everything I believe in just fully aligns. And I think that's where a lot of your success comes from as well. Like when you find something that you can be 100% passionate about, you can rock up with certainty and confidence and be able to, grow your skills in that area. There's no way that you can't be successful. You know what I mean? Like as long as you're showing up and you're able to influence people from that heart-centered space, because you truly believe that this is going to be of benefit to that other person, then you can't go wrong, guys. But it starts with taking that first step. And I know sometimes it's scary, and I know sometimes it's you don't know how everything's going to happen or how you're going to get to that first goal or anything. Don't worry about the how. Just have the vision, have the hope, and take that first step. And you'll learn what you need to learn as you go along, when you're ready to learn it. So having coaches and things like that is amazing. I think it's a must for anyone in business, because they can see things that you can't see because you're in the daily activities every day. So having that person come in and go, have you thought about this, or tweak this, or why are you spending time on that when that's not a high paying activity? Why don't you do this? And there's a great book out there called is it called Eat That Frog? Where they talk about doing the hardest thing first. Do
the worst first.
Do the worst first. Get it out of the way. Do the thing that scares you the most first. Do the thing that's hardest, or that and then that will make your day so much easier when you eat that frog and get it out of the way. So an amazing, amazing book.
It's amazing. And honestly, remember Tony Robbins? I'm assuming most of the listeners would know who that is, or Grant Cardone. Tony Robbins was overweight. He's 50 pounds overweight, and he was a complete loser in terms of what in his story he tells it. He felt like a loser, and in terms of success, he probably would have been seen as one. So he turned around and just made a decision to go and do it. And he took massive action. He went out and did his running, and he lost the weight, and that's how the story goes. And he, I just want you to all remember, it's okay to start wherever you are now. Yeah. Every master was once like a student, and every student had no idea what the hell they were doing. Grant Cardone walked out of rehab, and it was the guy giving him crap, saying, you'll be back, you'll never make anything of yourself, don't have big dreams, that actually fired him up so much. He was like, I'm going to take my addiction, my addictive personality, and become addicted to making myself a success. And he changed his life. And, 25 years later, he owns a private jet, and it's from showing up every day. That brings me to the next point. Show up every day. Don't be worried about where you are now. Everyone that you see now that you've got on a pedestal and you see as successful, Bill Gates was not wealthy one day. They were like Jeff Bezos, it was not wealthy one day. started doing it. They just started working, and that's
Yep.
just show up.
Yeah. And
consistently.
it's so funny you bring that up, because I listened to a podcast this morning, and it was of this couple who are multi-millionaires in our profession. And he was saying that every morning he gets up, he starts his walk, he does his, listens to whatever his faith and everything like that. Then he goes to a coffee shop, grabs his coffee, then walks to an AA meeting that he's been going to every day for, I don't know, like
Wow.
3, 4, 5 years. Then from the AA meeting, he comes out, he goes to another coffee shop, and then by the time he gets home, his wife's done all her morning rituals and meditations and things like that. Then they start work about 10 a.m. and then they are out there just building relationships, having conversations. And he says that sometimes, like, he's even gone up to like a homeless person to give a homeless person some money, and the homeless person has thought that he was homeless and has said, please don't, this is my corner, this is my part of the street, like, you go set up somewhere else. And he's like a multi-millionaire, because he doesn't see himself as any different from anyone out there. And he's just really consistent. And I think that's what it comes down to, being consistent and doing what you love. And if you guys want to have a more inspired life, like if you're content and you're happy and you don't want to grow and you're just happy where you are, then don't take any of this on board. But if you actually want to grow as a person and you want to be your best version, especially if you've got kids and things like that, then we really hope that you do look into getting other streams of income, because honestly, guys, it changes your life. It changes your relationships. You have better relationships. You're a better version of yourself. You're a better parent because of it. You have better lessons along the way. And then you can start helping other people, which means you can have a bigger impact. You can leave a legacy. I mean, how amazing is that? And you can start creating things like, I know, and I'm talking to the mums out there, because obviously I'm a mum, but I went through that stage of the mummy guilt when I spent money on myself. If you bought a new dress or if you bought something or had a coffee, and you have that mummy guilt, I could have used that money for something else. It was like when I bought my paddleboard. My paddleboard kit was like $1,000, and I had no guilt around it because I'd worked my ass off, and I wanted that paddleboard in my daily life because it brings me happiness, it brings me joy, and that's what helps me feel fulfillment. And when I feel fulfilled and happy and joyful, I'm a better version of myself and I can serve the world better. So without it, I'm like, $1,000, happiness, it's nothing. There's no comparison, guys. That's the thing. And I want you mums out there to realize that you've got to get rid of the guilt. You've got to get rid of the poor self-worth and go, you know what? I deserve this. Because you know what the hardest job in the world is that we don't get paid for? Is being a bloody mum or being a dad. That is the hardest job. It is 24/7 on call. It's the cooking, it's the cleaning, it's the mentoring, it's the constant, chatter. It's, that is the toughest job. So you guys deserve it. You deserve more. You deserve success. You deserve a better quality of life. But you can't rely on the man, you can't rely on the government, you can't rely on those Centrelink payments that are coming in. Like, honestly, this is your time to shine. There's been no better time for you guys to go, righto, I'm doing it. I'm looking for a business. I don't know what it's going to be. Start with, what am I passionate about? What do I love to do? If I could do anything in the world, no money, no time restrictions, what would I do with my time? Where would I spend it? And I've seen people just transform their career because they've just asked better quality questions to themselves.
Yeah, that's so many great points there. And, like, I listened to Ed Milet's recent podcast, and he talked about doing what you're passionate about. And he said, look, there are people out there that find their passion and they can monetize it and they never work another day in their life. Here's the thing, that's not necessarily going to happen for everyone. And I think that's been sold that, hey, you have to find, the passionate thing, the thing that you love. But what if you just went out and started a business that maybe you enjoyed, or maybe you didn't enjoy it, or maybe your job's highly paid, but what it does is it allows you the choice to go out after work, maybe, and do the thing that you're passionate about. Maybe you're passionate about helping school kids or coaching young children that, in soccer, or, and he goes through all that. And it is about, like, the money gives you the choice to do that. So maybe you are in a job that's high paying and your passion, you're not necessarily passionate about it, but if it allows you the joy of going and doing something else later that you're passionate about, like, you know, like your whole world doesn't always have to be sunshine and pony rides and unicorns, you know, like it's great if you got it and yeah, work towards it. If you work hard enough and you keep going after it and you're consistent, you can do more of what you love.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not there yet. So don't compare someone else's like chapter 20 to your chapter 3, you know, and don't compare their results if they work their backsides off for like 5 or 10 years before that and you're only just starting out and you're like, oh, well, why don't I? Hey, I've just done a 5-day course. Why aren't I Tony Robbins? You know, why don't I have a private jet? Oh, look, I've just gone and started my network marketing business. Why aren't I like making $100 million? Why aren't I Jeffrey Birdie or something like that? You know, like get over yourself. So we got so much out in this. Like, I just want to go through just a few more. And look, this is a multiple podcast thing, you know, and we're gonna bring on some people that have made some mega money, like. You know, like over the next couple of weeks, I've got a few more lined up. I don't want to spoil it yet, but listen, your business is not your expense account. It's not your endless ATM. You need to pay the business. So think about your business is an ember, and you need to feed it. You need to fuel it so it turns into a fire and gets so hot it can melt steel. It's never going to go out. If you just make $1,000 and then go spend $1,000 because you think, hey, it's great. That's not business. That's how you be a loser. That's how you go out of business. So we've been through the 40-40-20 before. 40% for your investments and future, Joel and Kristine, future you. 40% for your business and 20% for your expenses and everything like that. Your business isn't responsible for paying your rent out of that 80%. So think big and go for it. Go for number one. Why would you ever start a business and not go for number one? Like, I've got a vision board somewhere saying that I want to be number one in my industry. Well, like, someone's got to be number one. The guy that's number one now is not going to be number one forever. So why can't it be, like, someone had to be Elvis? Someone had to be Bill Gates. Someone had to beat Bill Gates. It's Jeff Bezos. Someone's going to beat Jeff Bezos. It could be you. So, yeah, so there's that. And then don't be lazy. This is a big one. People think, in the general, I want to say like loser community, that they go to 8 hours of their work and yeah, you might work hard, but that's not what a work day is. If you want to work on your dream, you need to come home and do some more. You have to come home and do your work to work on your side hustle or work on your business to get it going. And that's how you don't go broke. But if you just come home and let yourself off the hook and go to bed or watch Netflix when you should be working on your business, you do, like you hear Gary Vee say, you see all the top guys, they do work hard. And I don't think sitting on a rock reading The Secret is going to get you all the way there. There's a part of it, visualization is a big part of it. I just don't think it's everything. So you've actually got to get out and do the damn work, right?
Absolutely.
You got to move it. So, and look, the final one is like, we've got millions more that like, just stay in the game. If I'd have quit in my supermarket businesses, I wanted to quit every day for like 15 years. So even when things were good, I still wanted to quit some days. But like, had I quit, I wouldn't have, I nearly said a word that didn't exist then. Had I quit, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have learned the lessons. I wouldn't have the money. You just got to stay in the game. And that's the thing that the gurus and the people out there that actually haven't done what they're teaching, there's a lot of people out there teaching what they have never done, and they can't physically teach you that because they don't actually know. And you watch them, their businesses will disappear as well, most likely, because or they're going to go through the hard yards and actually then they will know how hard it is. But you've got to stay in the game thick and thin every day and through the monotony, and it's boring. A lot of people start a business around their passion, and they forget that their passion is only 20% of their business. The 80% is the growing the business. And if you don't like growing a business, you're in for 80% of hard work. So, there goes the doing what you love thing out the window. So, oh my God, what a podcast. This one I think has been our most valuable. I think this is our best. Yep. So I hope everyone's like, actually, I don't hope. I know you got value out of this one. This one I'm so certain on is our best one ever. Share it around. Like listen to it over and over again. The strategies we've given you here, the mindset around money, you can chunk down on it. Google this stuff. Like, just watch out for the sites that say betting's like something that you should be doing. That's so much. That's a worry. You know what he is? I bet you he's an affiliate for betting.
Probably.
I bet he's actually an affiliate. That would be affiliate marketing. So maybe you could go see what he's doing, because I bet he's an affiliate for that sort of stuff, you know? So it's a good idea. Maybe we should do that with that.
Maybe, yeah.
So, look, guys, is there anything else you want to say? Like,
honestly, I just want the best for you guys that are listening to this podcast. I really do. So I want you to be able to go out there and do your research, be prepared to upskill yourself, and embrace the hard. Anything worth, having in life it's going to take hard work, and you get to choose your hard in this life. You really do. So, for me, it's so much harder being an employee than owning my own business. Even though it is hard being an entrepreneur and showing up every day in your business for your family, for yourself, and juggling multiple hats, it's so much harder for me to be an employee, and I also hate being told what to do.
Yeah, so I just want to just quickly chunk down on that. So choose your hard. Like, that's something that's tweetable and repeatable. Choose your hard.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, so that actually means you're going to have a hard life by being poor later. So why not do the hard work now so you're not poor? Is that what you mean? Like, so you can have a business, which is hard, but only just making ends meet because you got a job is hard. Like, it's hard to work a job and have your business, but it's no more hard than when you're 60 and you can't get a job because they're not employing those people, or the industry's disappeared that you're relying on. So is that what that means?
And I think people think that age as well, like people who are in their 40s or their 50s are like, oh, I'm too old. Like the opportunity's gone, the chance is gone, but it's not. It really hasn't. And, I watched both my parents working jobs that didn't light them up, but they thought they were too old to go out there and upskill and get new skills in areas that they would have preferred. So they worked their butts off to put food on the table, but they put their dreams and hopes aside, and I don't want that for my kids. I don't want it for myself. So we don't want it for our listeners. We want you guys to feel like you're living this amazing, fulfilled, inspired life where you feel like you're constantly growing. If you're not growing, and evolving, you're dissolving, you're dying. Okay. And we don't want you to die. We don't want you to die with your music still in you, as Keurig says, and I know that Mitch Bean has said this as well. Like, when you go to a graveyard and you're walking over all those graves, that's millions and millions, probably billions and billions of dollars worth of lost ideas and innovations and businesses that people just never got started. They never took the risk or the opportunity during their lifetime, and so they just died with it. They died with the music inside them, and we don't want that for you. So I think that's what I kind of wanted to finish on was, there's an abundance of ways to earn money out there. There really is. And, you've just got to go and do your research and find the ones that align with you and that you're interested in. And as Joel said, go and do the hard work, because your passion only gets you so far. You still need to do the hard yards. So
go take action now. And just because you start something this week doesn't mean that you're going to be doing it in 2 years' time. If you don't like it, you've got so much choice. There's no cost of entry for a lot of this stuff. Just go and do something. You'll find something that you like, get some momentum, never put the momentum down, and go change your bloody life. Don't rely on chance. Don't rely on someone else. Take responsibility for yourself, because if you do that, you're going to show others to do it. And you know what? In a couple of generations, we might have a planet full of doers, and we'll have the control in our life. So let's just do it now.
Yeah. And the last thing too is you do have to make some sacrifices along the way. I think you've got to be prepared for that. And for me, when I was a personal trainer and my business wasn't going that well, I was prepared to make the sacrifice of giving up, hanging out with my friends, doing all that. I went and got another job in a drive-through coffee shop. Now, is that my passion? No. Do I drink coffee? No. I love the smell of it. But I did whatever it took to get me out of that situation. And I think that's what is holding a lot of people back. They're not prepared to take that step and do whatever it takes to get them out of that funk, to get them out of that situation that's causing a lot of pain and stress and dis-ease. So sometimes you got to do what it takes.
It's hilarious. Like, that's what Grant Cardone says. It's not about doing what you love. It's about doing whatever it takes. Like, he's talked to people he didn't want to talk to. He's done things he didn't want to do. But look at him now. And I'm sure all the successful people can say that. And you know, like this stuff in the I know there's a lot of coaches and network marketers and like business owners and entrepreneurs listening to this. Don't let someone say that you have to, you know, be in complete alignment with what you do right there and then to do what you're doing. Like, they're usually people that are working at Jeans West. So are they in alignment with what they're doing? No, they're bloody not. Why are they there? For the money. So it's okay to be doing what you're doing and have one of your highest values for what you're doing is to make money. Like, I coach people because I love helping people and I need to make money. It's like the service is good. Like I didn't just do it, my supermarket business, just because I love doing it. Like, you know, I had to, there was a practical part of it too. So don't let anyone tell you that just because you are doing it for the money, that's a bad thing. Because, like, what are they doing it for? They're not going to Macca's to work at midnight because they're in complete alignment with their spiritual being and, you know, like to be doing that. So that's all I want to say. Go and do what you're doing now. And Kristine, like,
yeah, well, thank you so much for listening, everyone. And we will see you on next week's podcast. And are we having a guest speaker next week? Who knows?
Yeah, there's going to be one.
Awesome. Awesome. We can't wait. Have a great week, guys.
Bye.
Damn. Yeah.